Today I'm going to talk about 3 key tips when trying to lose that holiday weight gain, and it's coming right up. The weight that we gain over a year is not spread out equally amongst the whole year. That's the key finding from medical studies such as this one published in the New England Journal of Medicine. They followed a number of people to see when they gained the weight. Over the year, on average, people were gaining about 0.5 kilos or about a pound per year. But when they broke it down into holiday periods and non-holiday periods, what they found was very important. They defined the holiday period in the United States as that period between Thanksgiving and New Year's when a lot of people tend to eat because of all the holiday parties and so on. There tended to be the most weight gain in those 6 weeks in November and December. In fact, about 2/3 of the weight gain for the whole year was gained in just those 6 weeks, compared to the other 40 some odd weeks of the year. After the holidays in January, there was some attempt to lose some of the weight, but it tended to be very minimal, such that on average it came out to about a pound a year, which doesn't seem to be a lot, but over many years it comes to 20, 30, 40 pounds of weight gain. And unfortunately, it's not equally distributed either amongst those who are non-overweight, overweight, and obese. When they broke it down further, what they found was that the people who tended to gain the most during that holiday period was those who could least afford it, which is those people who are obese or overweight. The people who are not overweight didn't tend to gain so much. So what it comes down to is this. If we know that there are periods where you're tending to gain weight, then you need to know how to lose that holiday weight in order to keep a stable weight year after year. And this wasn't just true in the United States. You could see the same pattern all over the world. So, what are the keys to dealing with holiday weight gain? There are 3 key things to remember when dealing with that holiday weight gain. First, don't wait. When you're trying to lose the holiday weight, as soon as that holiday's over, you need to get right on it. This is the period of time where you're most motivated to lose that weight, so it's really the easiest to get started. At the same time, if you just gain weight very recently, that's the period where it's easiest to lose that weight. Your body hasn't gotten adjusted to that extra weight yet, and therefore you will be able to lose that weight, but you can't stick around saying, well, I'm just going to give it a few weeks here. A few weeks turns into a few months, and before you know it, you haven't been able to get rid of that holiday weight gain. And it doesn't just apply to periods in November and December. This applies to vacations as well. So if you go on a vacation in the summertime and you go on a cruise and you eat a lot of things that you know you really shouldn't eat, as soon as you get back, don't wait. Get right on that schedule, and we're going to have a protocol for you coming up. The second key tip in dealing with holiday weight gain is that you can't just resume your usual eating routine. A lot of people say this. They say, yeah, I've eaten a lot in this holiday period, whether it's Christmas or vacation. I know I ate a lot. I'm just going to get back to my usual routine, and I should get back, to usual. But it doesn't work that way. You never worked off that excess. If you ate a lot over the past week and then just eat your usual foods for the next week, well, you never worked off that excess. In fact, you have to eat very little over the next week in order to balance the excess that you ate the week before. So don't just go back to your usual routine thinking that your body will go back to its usual weight. That's a mistake that too many people make. You never worked off that excess. Just like if you go on a spending spree and you go buy a lot of stuff, you can't go back to your usual spending habits. You have to spend less to make up for the extra. So don't just go back to the usual. It's not business as usual. The third thing is that you need to hit it hard and hit it fast. And for that, really one treatment stands out as much better than the others, and that's fasting. Because if you follow a routine such as paleo diet or vegetarian diet or whatever diet you normally follow, yes, that's effective, but remember, fasting, you're eating very little. And you can't go lower than 0. So ultimately, fasting is the fastest way to lose weight. And no diet can really compare to that. So what are the routines that really work to lose that holiday weight? First of all, if you haven't been fasting, you should try to incorporate intermittent fasting. That is short periods of not eating or skipping meals, skipping breakfast, skipping lunch, up to 24 hours a day. Because those are going to be the periods of time where your body is going to use up some of those extra calories and extra food energy that you've taken over the past holiday. Second, if you have been fasting, you haven't found that it's effective enough, what you can do is extend that to above 24 hours. Now, just remember that when you're going into the longer fast, you need to be sure that you're doing it safely and you speak to your doctor about it. But there's a good reason why extending from a 1 meal a day strategy to eating no meals for that day or a 36-hour fast is extremely effective. Anytime you're not eating, your body is going to be forced to burn fat because fat is simply a source of stored energy or calories. If you are able to go from 1 meal a day to no meals a day, that means, for example, if you're skipping breakfast, lunch, and dinner and go to the next day's breakfast, you're getting about 36 hours of fasting. So to go from 24 to 36, skipping that single meal increases that fat burning power by about 50%. And why is it so effective? It's because you're leveraging the power of sleep. When you skip that dinner or that 1 meal, you're getting 8 hours of fasting while you sleep. And that's almost free because you're not even aware of it. Even better, when you wake up, you usually feel normal again because your body has started using those calories that it's stored away as sugar, that it's stored away as fat, and you actually feel pretty normal the next day coming out of that fast. You don't feel hungry or any more hungry than you normally do, and you usually feel pretty refreshed as well. So it's much more powerful to go from a 24-hour fast, skip that meal in that day to the 36-hour fast. But remember, like any tool, it has the potential to go both ways, so make sure you're doing it safely. The other thing is that when you go to that more extended period of fasting, then you get into the full fat burning. As we discussed previously in a video, the 5 stages of fasting, as you go through the time period of fasting, you go through burning sugar, you go through the period of gluconeogenesis. By 24-30 hours, you're going into the fat burning mode because your body has no other way to store energy. In the short term, you can use sugar, which is stored as glycogen. You can use gluconeogenesis. But as you get into longer period of fasting, you're really relying mostly on fat, and that's what we really want to do, is burn that fat. So as you get into that longer 36-hour period, you're getting almost pure fat burning. It's a lot easier to stay in that fat burning phase than to keep going up and down. Another key advantage is that as you go into the longer periods of fasting, the hunger tends to go down. So remember, when you're dealing with weight gain, don't wait around for that holiday weight gain to become permanent. Number 2, it's not business as usual. You need to have a dedicated period of losing weight to counteract that period of vacation or holiday where you know you've gained weight. And third, hit it hard, hit it fast, and nothing does that better than extended fasting. If you haven't been fasting, try going to intermittent fasting. If you've done intermittent fasting, try going over that 24-hour period into extended fasting. Make sure you get that weight down, and then you can go to business as usual. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something. If you did, and maybe share it with a friend, they may learn something too. And if you could do me a favor and hit that like button down below so that other people can find this video, I'd really appreciate that. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week.